Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be looking at the brand new Faith and Fury article, which is of course dedicated to Chaos. They're a massive part of this book and they've put a preview of some of their brand new rules and everything they get when they can go into combat. So let's jump in, let's take a look and see what they have. So first up is a preview of a demon weapon. It says there's a selection of demon weapons that can be given to your characters instead of any other artifact of Chaos. Now this one is called Golahak's Fist of Decay. This is for a Nurgle model, Power Fist only, so only Nurgle can take this. This relic replaces a Power Fist and has the following profile. Range is melee, of course, type melee, strength ×2, AP -3, and damage is free. Abilities: when resolving an attack made with this weapon, subtract 1 from the hit rolls as you'd normally do with Power Fist, and a modified wound roll of 2+ is always successful. Okay, so that's pretty nice as well. What do you think of that? The thing is, I'm not really familiar with Chaos and their relics and stuff like that, but from what I've seen from the Black Templar stuff, like the special sword that they get, when you compare it to like the Burning Blade and stuff, the Burning Blade is a lot better. So does this rank good for you Chaos players? Is it a good Power Fist if you are taking a Nurgle character and you want to swap this out and give him this? Let me know in the comments, and yeah, I'd like to hear that from you guys. Right, let's move on and let's look at the juicy stuff, which is of course all the rules for the certain traitor legions in here. Let's start with the Wordbearers. So it says the Wordbearers were the first heretics. They were the first heretics. They were the first to fall because they couldn't accept that the Emperor was just a normal being and not a god, and you know, they're all noobs. Well, they did slap the Ultramarines around a little bit, which was kind of funny in the long run. So it says the Wordbearers were the first heretics, turning from the light of the Emperor to embrace the worship of the Chaos gods. The demonic whispers warlord trait represents the otherworldly guidance that the Wordbearers receive in return. So this is like their main faction thing. So it says demonic whispers. If your army is Battleforged, roll 1d3 before the battle begins. You gain a number of additional command points equal to the result once per battle. If this warlord is on the battlefield, you can reroll a single hit roll, wound roll, damage roll, or a saving throw. So that's kind of a mix between the Imperial Fist Hand of Dawn trait, where you can roll a d3 and whatever that is, depends how many command points you get, and a mix between the Salamander trait, right, if I'm not mistaken, where Salamanders can re-roll a single hit roll and a wound roll, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really play Salamanders that much, so again, help me out here. But I'm sure that's kind of like a little mix. I think that's pretty decent, you know, if you haven't got anything around you or anything. I won't say it's mind-blowingly good. Like, I'm trying to compare these to the Imperial Fist stuff and like the Ultramarine stuff and like the White Scar stuff at the moment. I'd personally rank that a little bit low, but then again, I could be biased with my Imperial Fistness. They're also showing off one of the stratagems dedicated to the Wordbearers as well, and it's called Apostle of the Dark Council. Of course, it's going to be something weird like this. So 1 command point, use this stratagem before the battle. Select 1 Wordbearer priest model from your army. That model gains the following ability: Dark Council. This model knows 1 additional prayer from the prayers to the Dark Gods. See Codex to start Space Marines, and can chant 1 additional prayer at the start of the battle round. You can only use this stratagem once per battle. Again, this is kind of a copy thing from I actually think it's from the Templars, where you can take 1 extra litany. I think I was going on about it a couple of days ago in one of my videos. Like, I absolutely love litanies. Litanies are amazing. It makes me want to put chaplains back in my list again. So this is kind of like a mirror of that, where instead of taking a glorious chaplain, you take a Dark Apostle, and you know, you give him the ability of Dark Council, and you can take 2 kind of powers to cast. Well, I say powers, but you know, 2 kind of chants you can cast on your units instead of 1, and hopefully bring more death and destruction to whatever you're fighting against. Hopefully not Imperial Fist, because we're the greatest chapter that's ever been made. And keeping on the topic of course, stratagems, let's move on to the Night Lords, because they have one called We Have Come For You. Again, 1 command points. I love how cheap all this stuff is getting, because if there's something that I love, is cheap stratagem. So it says, use this stratagem at the start of your opponent's movement phase. Select 1 Night Lord unit from your army that is not a vehicle. Until the start of your next turn, enemy units within 1 inch of that unit cannot fall back unless they have the vehicle or Titanic keyword or have a minimum move characteristic. So I think that's pretty cool, because then you can more or less force people into combat. And for example, I was playing a game the other day where I kind of lured a demon horde into me, knowing that I would take a bit of a beating, but I would survive it. Then I could fall back and let my tanks open up on them, because it was characters that he was putting into me, and that's what I did. So yeah, you could kind of trick people where they can't move and stuff like that. Well, again, unless it's a vehicle. So if you've got to be charging an execution tank, first thing, you're going to be absolutely insane for doing that, and secondly, don't charge an execution tank because you will die. They have another thing called the Vox Demon Demon. I'm sorry, I'm awful. Let's just call it Vox Demons. So this states infantry model only. Whilst an enemy unit is within 6 inches of a model with this relic, reduce the range of that unit's aura to 1. Abilities. Hang on. Reduce the range of the unit's aura to 1 inch. In addition, enemy units that are set up on the battlefield as reinforcements cannot be set up within 12 inches of this model's relic. Okay, that's kind of powerful, because that's basically taking away my auras, which I absolutely love in 8th edition. I love my Chapter Master aura, re-rolling all hit rolls, not failed hit rolls, re-rolling all hit rolls. So if I want to take the chance and try and get 6s for my bottle stuff, and of course my lieutenants or lieutenants, whatever you want to call them, wow, yeah. That is something that could be a dagger in your side. Perfect strategy from the Night Lords to deny you all the glorious things that you would hope to have when you come to Purge in the Emperor's name. God damn it, Night Lords. And let's move on to, of course, some more sneaky boys, which is, of course, the Alpha Legion. Where are they? Behind me? I'm Alfarius. You're Alfarius. Everyone's Alfarius. So let's start, of course, with the command points. This is called Sabotaged Armory. 1 command point, cheapest chips. Once again, absolutely love it. Use this stratagem in any phase before your opponent rolls to see if a vehicle model from their army explodes. If an Alpha Legion unit from your army are on the battlefield, add 3 to one of the d6 rolled, and the roll cannot be re-rolled. Oh my holy emperor. So if you're telling me if I roll the 3 and I think, I've saved it, then an Alpha Legion goes, no you haven't, 1 command point, that blows up, and it takes out my entire army, and I cannot re-roll that? That is very, very a thorn in my... Oh my god, I hate that so much. I hate that because I'm normally really, really good at not making things blow up in my army. So if someone can make stuff blow up in my army, then yeah, that is going to be a sucker punch to the lungs. And the next thing they have is something called Cult Leader. This warlord directs the local cult personality when resolving an attack made with a weapon by a model in a friendly Alpha Legion Chaos Cultist unit within 6 inches of this warlord, and a modified wound roll of 6. And a modified wound roll of a 6. The armor penetration characteristic of that weapon is improved by 1 for that attack, and it's got in brackets, e.g. AP 0 becomes AP -1. Now, that seems good, but of course you need the dice gods on your side. And secondly, I'm not too sure how important cultists are when you build a Chaos army. Again, this is kind of out of the box for me. I don't really fight that many Chaos forces. All my friends are all Imperium. We do training exercises against each other. So is that decent? Would you say is that something that is that you would think about taking into war? Just maybe you have like a massive Zerg of cultists and stuff, maybe it's decent then. So if all them 6s do get that extra AP -1, that could be pretty decent for going through armor and just putting a bit of damage on certain units. Okay, let's move on to the next Traitor Legion called the Clowns. Oh, sorry, these are Iron Warriors. I always get mixed up. They more or less look like the same. So this is Siege Master, and it says, when resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon by a model in a friendly Iron Warrior Havoc or Iron Warrior vehicle, a unit within 6 inches of this warlord, reroll wound rolls of 1. Oh, okay, is that it? Is this all you've got, Iron Warriors? Is this what I should be quaking in my boots about? Are you going to siege me with this kind of stuff? I shall laugh in my Daunian voice as I throw you from my walls, you absolute children. Yeah, I don't rate that one at all. I'm just going to say it. I'm not being biased. I'm not being... It's kind of hard. I'm not being biased, but yeah, I think that's probably the weakest one so far. fits the Iron Warriors perfect. Right, let's move on to the next one, which is the Empress Children. And let's start with their stratagem called Combat Elixirs. This is 2 command points. Oh, 2 command points. Oh, you're getting spicy there, GW. Use this stratagem before the battle. Select one Empress Children unit from your army that is not a vehicle or a Chaos Cultist. Then select one of the following effects to apply to the model in that unit until the end of the battle. +1 to attack characteristics, +1 to strength, +2 to movement, +1 to toughness characteristics. That is pretty cool. I like that. So again, it probably all depends what kind of units you're taking and stuff like that, and what you want to give it to. Yeah, I like that. I think that's pretty nice. I wish I had something like that, and then I could, tough up all my guys and give my guys, more attacks and stuff, and send in the Templars with like +1 attacks. That could be very, very cool. I'm moving on to their relic, which is called Raiment Repulsive, and it says when resolving an attack made by a model with this relic, you can re-roll the hit roll and you can re-roll the wound roll. When a charge roll is made for a model with this relic, you can re-roll the result. Okay, so it's everything really. It's hit, wound, and charging. That's pretty nice. Again, you'll have to put it on probably one of your best units, I would say. Probably your warlord. I would. Well, of course, it's a warlord, it's a relic and stuff like that. But you know what I mean. Something that's big, that's devastating, that is destructive, because those 3 rerolls is and the charge and stuff like that. That is definitely worth going on the model that you're going to be using the most and getting the most out of at the end of the day. Right, moving on to the last one previewed, which is, of course, the World Eaters. For those of you who don't know, if I was going to make a Chaos Force, it would be World Eaters. I love the World Eaters. I love everything about them. I love their sad story. Angron being an absolute B, let's say. I can't say it because bloody YouTube will just say, ban the video for swearing. So you got the first one, which is Disciples of Khorne. When resolving an attack made with a melee weapon by this warlord against an enemy character unit or unit that contains any model with a wound characteristic of 5 or more, you can re-roll the hit roll, you can re-roll the wound roll. Again, it's more or less just kind of like the other one we did, but a little bit less, and it's mainly used against characters and stuff that's 5 or plus more, so against vehicles, dreadnoughts, any of the big things. I don't think it'd count against a unit because they each have, well, let's say a Primaris Intercessor unit, they have 2 wounds each. So I don't think it means as a whole. I think it just means as a single model kind of thing. Have I got that right, or am I just being an absolute idiot? Anyway, yeah, it's kind of good. I think it's a bit weak. In my personal opinion, but then again, maybe if you ally it with something like maybe something else like the Khorne has, what Khorne can bring or the World Eaters can bring, maybe that is pretty decent paired with something else. But yeah, first off, right at the top of my head, I don't rate that one that much. They previewed a special weapon, which is Guava, which is, of course, the weapon that was used by Primarch Angron. If you didn't know, Primarch Angron had 2 big, massive chain axes. One went to Khan the Betrayer, which was called Gorechild, and the other one was called Gorefather. And yeah, you can just equip it on a random warlord now. Have Khan with his, and have your other guy with this, and sling him into melee, and they can purge like it was like the days of the Great Crusade and the Heresy once again. Right, so the stats on this is Gorefather, range is melee, type melee, strength is 2+, AP is -2, and damage is 3. Of course, with World Eaters, the amount of attacks you can get, because you get to fight twice, if I'm not mistaken, because I was at a tournament once and someone charged me with World Eaters. I was like, oh, it's over. It's like, nope, not yet. I get to attack again. I was like, wait, what? Excuse me? Oh, my holy emperor. The abilities on this, when resolving an attack made with this weapon, subtract 1 from the hit roll, and on a modified wound roll of 6, the target suffers 3 mortal wounds, and the attack sequence ends. Oh, boy. So, if you get a load of 6s, then that is good night, sweetheart. See you in a bit. It is over. So, if the dice gods are on your side, that could be pretty brutal. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yep, there's the -1 to hit, which is kind of crappy and stuff. But again, if you get those 6s, yeah, I think the risk is beneficial. I love it. Absolutely love it. 3 mortal wounds. That is deadly. And just at the end of the article, it says, all of this is just a glimpse of the bounties that the Dark Gods have provided for their loyal followers in Faith and Fury. The second book is basically coming this Saturday, yada, yada, yada. This is just a preview. Right at the top of my head straight away, I would personally say I like the Night Lord stuff the best. The -1 to auras, because auras are such a big role, a big player, I find, especially in shooty armies, like my army, where I may have a couple of executioners sat at the back just going pew, 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 pew. So if you can stop that aura and, you know, make me miss all my wands and rerolls and stuff like that, then I personally think that is probably one of the strongest ones. Right, that is me done for another video. Thank you for coming, thank you for watching. I'd love to know your thoughts and feedback. Surely you chaos people out there will be better advising me on this, and yeah, this is good, that's bad, that's good, all that kind of stuff. So post it below in the comment section and we can have a nice little chat down there. Thank you for coming, thank you for watching, see you now, and bye bye.